I had kind of an interesting moment recently in my life because for a really long time I've had certain sort of life goals and financial goals. And in particular, I had this idea where there was a number in my head where it's like, when I get this much money, then I don't necessarily have to work anymore. I can retire on this, I can be happy, I could live a comfortable life at this amount. And it's an amount that I'd come up with a long time ago. An interesting thing happened because in the last year or two, quite kind of depending how you measure it, but I definitely crossed that threshold. I definitely got to a point where I was like, look, I don't have to work anymore if I don't want to. And it makes you think. It makes you start thinking, should I keep hustling as hard? Should I keep, nose in the grindstone and working long hours, not sleeping, when a lot of the things that are the reasons why I wanted to get money, I can already do them without ever having to work again. Why not just go do that? Go do that life, go relax and chill and get rid of the stress and that kind of stuff. And it's very tempting. And it definitely, again, it makes you think. And what it sort of brought to my mind was this difference between striving and pursuing your goals and trying to be successful in life, and then doing what maybe you're passionate about or what intrigues you in terms of your emotions, in terms of your mental engagement, your mental acuity, that sort of a thing. And it seemed like a paradox. And what I realized is in the short term it is. In the short term it is a paradox, because in the short term you can kind of have your cake or you can eat it. You can consume the calories and enjoy them, or you can build your healthy body. But in the long run, the two are not different, okay? The two are not different. It's not a choice between being mentally engaged in what you're doing and then succeeding, because in the long run, if you're not mentally engaged in what you're doing, you're not going to succeed. You can get some kind of superficial success, you can coast and maintain, but if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then you're not going to have that success. And I realized as I looked back, the reason why I got into pickup, the reason why I was good at pickup, I never set out to make money in pickup. And that was never my intention, that was never my goal. My actual goal was just to get as good at pickup as I could. It's because it fascinated me, the psychology of it, the women I could have in my life, what it could do for my own confidence and my own self-discovery. That's what I was into. And the reason I taught pickup was I was thinking of all the jobs I could have, what job gives me the most time to practice and learn pickup? That was my only idea, that was my only thought. And so it came out of passion. And everything that I've ever done successfully was the same. Poker, I was so passionate about before I played professionally. I could stay awake for days on end and I could read poker books and go over one poker hand for every little intricacy and be fascinated by it. This is what I was truly mentally engaged with. And in the short run, playing poker wasn't good for me financially because I wasn't that good yet, but in the long run, it was very good for me because I was engaged with it and I was going to get good because of that engagement. And so that's kind of how it works in many areas of life, which is there seems to be this paradox of doing your passion or making money, but in the long run, if you're not doing your passion, that's when you're going to hold yourself back from making money. Now, obviously you have to be a little creative, sometimes with certain passions, how to turn them into money, etc. But do follow the passions for the long run. That's my main indicator to you, or my main advice for you in life. Now let's tie that back into game. There have been periods in my game where I get too good at game and it hurts my results. That doesn't make sense, right? Here's what I mean by it. What happens is I'm going out a lot, I'm getting sharper, I'm passing my shit test better, I know the responses for everything, I'm technically on top of it, I'm not reactive to girls, I'm in abundance, and my game's getting better and better and better. And then at a certain point, my game just suddenly gets massively worse. And what happened was I got bored. What happened was I kept going through the motions and I was getting girls, but I was doing the same thing. It just felt like Groundhog Day. Felt like I was doing the same thing over and over, getting girls over and over, and my mind turned off. Now, what happens when your brain shuts off like this? What'll happen is you're going through the motions, you're doing the right thing, but you're not really present. You're doing the right thing because it's the right thing, or you're doing the right thing because it's habit, but you're not actually engaging with the girl, you're not engaging with that exact moment. And what happens, it looks stale, it feels stale, and the girl will distrust you, and you'll not be paying attention to her, you'll miss things, you'll miscalibrate, because again, you turned your mind off, okay? And the solution I found for this was to do what I call self-engagement. You may have heard self-amusement. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in self-amusement because I'm not a naturally amused person and it seems too high energy for me. I don't want to be like, yeah, clown, dance, whatever. That's not my vibe. My vibe is much more calm, much more intellectual, whatever. But what I do need to do in order to stay present in the moment and stay effective is be engaged in what's going on. I need to be at least interested in whatever's going on. So what I did is this. Whenever I'm talking to a girl and I notice myself getting bored, or I notice myself doing or saying something that I've said 1,000 times before and not thinking about it, I will at that moment stop and do something else. Anything else. Anything that's unpredictable and different. And the reason is, it's probably not better game, but what it will do is it will keep my mind engaged. It will keep me present in the moment. And what I noticed is as soon as I started doing that, all of a sudden my sets got tremendously better. The first time I noticed this phenomenon was probably around 2012. I really, really strongly noticed it. And I've been getting decent results, but I was kind of like plateauing at like 7s, 8s for a little bit. And I was kind of frustrated with myself. And then all of a sudden I started doing this. I was like, overtly, I will do bad game. I don't care. I will stay engaged. And I went on one of the biggest rampages with some of the hottest girls that I'd ever been with in my entire life. And why was that? It's because I was mentally engaged. You see, all the things in game, they're great as their own techniques. But what they really are meant to do is they're meant to create an experience for a girl of being around a high-value guy who's highly engaged with her. That's what a girl really wants, right? She wants a high-value guy that is bought into her. And if you're not engaged, two things happen. Number one, you're not able to display your value because you're using like half your mind. You're using half your awareness. You're gonna be half as charismatic, half as sharp, half as interesting, that kind of a thing. But number two, in terms of comfort for the girl, she knows you're not there. She knows you're drifting off. She knows you're not present. And her level of trust for you, her level of comfort around you is just gonna go through the floor, all right? So for both value and comfort, engagement is necessary. So here's what I'm gonna encourage you to do in game and in life. Whenever you notice yourself disengaged, find a way to get engaged again. Make that a priority. Rather than go through the motions and do what like your boss would say is right, or the book would say is right, or your pickup coach would say is the right tactic or technique. Instead, find the next thing that engages you, and then only once you are engaged, present, enjoying what's going on, at least intellectually challenged or intellectually like aware, and again, engaged is the best word I can use. Once you're engaged again, then and only then reincorporate the technique. Then and only then start striving again for whatever external goal you're looking for, all right? If the internal part is not there in terms of the engagement, the external may, stagger along for a little bit, but in the long run, it's gonna be massively hurt. You need to get that part of yourself, that engagement and that like caring about what's going on within yourself there first before anything great can happen in the outside world.